Got a stacked card this weekend, Saturday in New York, Top Rank. It's actually one of the better cards. I mean, when you think about it, you got Lomachenko, Rigondeaux for Lomachenko's WBO World Super Featherweight title. You got Diaz and Cruz in action. You got Shakur Stevenson, the Jersey kid, in action as well. Mark Kriegel, who's done a great job over the years. He's covered every sport, by the way, but boxing's his wheelhouse. Joins us for a couple moments. He'll be part of that coverage on Saturday. Mark, how you been, pal?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. First and foremost, congratulations. A little overdue on the new gig with ESPN, but congrats on that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, I'm in a diner on 8th Avenue. How's the audio?
It's good. We're good. Where are you?
Good,
You're what are you having? You having a little egg white right now and a little coffee?
No. I just had a burger. And, it's like 2 blocks from where I grew up. I don't know how I ever grew up here. I lost all my New York.
You don't have to worry about cutting any weight for Saturday, so you'll be all right. Listen. You had a great piece regarding Lomachenko and that relationship with his father on ESPN, ESPN.com. So I encourage everyone to read it. It's amazing, though, because we always talk about fathers and sons in sports and the driving force. And when you look at a fighter in Lomachenko, you almost say to yourself, this guy doesn't really need a driving force. That's how great he is. But can you recall another type of relationship in boxing with fathers and sons like this that has been this successful thus far?
Oh, we don't know how successful it's going to be, and it's already produced 2 gold medals. I've never seen anything like this in terms of the manner in which Lomachenko trains. And most of that came down from his father. And a lot of it is completely idiosyncratic, walking on his hands, or
right.
There are little like computer chips embedded in his hand wraps, so that even by the end of sparring and working out, they know exactly how many punches he's thrown in the last round, if he could be on a double end bag or a heavy bag or whatever it is, and the velocity, and they have some sort of like aggregate reading for how efficient he's being and how much power he's putting out. I've never seen anyone train like this. I've never seen training so different than anyone else's, and most of it comes from the father with an assist from, they have a psychologist in camp. The most harmonious relationship, and someone corrected me yesterday that I remember, didn't cover them, was Calzaghe and his father. But again, I think that was, they trained like a conventional fighter. And
right.
I don't think, I think Calzaghe is sort of undermentioned because we still at that time had a prejudice against fighters from the UK, which I think the world has since overcome, because there were so many great fighters that, the Brits in some respects kept sport alive and vibrant even when it was being declared dead. But I've never seen anything like Lomachenko and his old man. That's a long answer to your question, but I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, and you look at him, he's 9-1, a champ of both featherweight, super featherweight, and you got 2 southpaws that'll meet on Saturday. And you look at Rigo, I mean, let's be honest, he's 37 years old. He's fought a total of 3.
We don't know if he's 37.
Well, the Cuban defect. All right, we'll leave it at that.
I'm really serious.
All right.
And that might be how great. That might be how great this guy is, because we don't know. We don't know if he's 37. He says he's 37. If he's copping to 37, what does that really mean?
Yeah, that's true.
I covered the Yankees in the years of El Duque. He wasn't.
That's true. Danny Almonte, right?
Now here's the thing, though, right? At some point, no matter how great, how majestic, how risk-averse, and how few punches he's taken, at some point, he's going to become old.
Right.
It may be Saturday night.
That's
it may not
a great
be.
point.
But that age is a huge factor, and I don't believe it's a true 37. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, and nothing against the guy, but he is not getting the advantages in this fight. He is suffering look, he wanted it at a lower weight.
Right.
It's going to be at, I guess 130.
Yes.
And it's two weight classes above where Rigondeaux usually fights. And he's the guy with the disadvantages, because he hasn't gotten over commercially, if you will, in this particular scenario.
Well, he's one.
I'll shut up in 1 second.
Yeah.
But if he has a risk-averse style, it's a different style, but as did Floyd Mayweather. What Mayweather understood, though, is listen, I can't get arrested with the fights. I can't get the kind of fights I want to get. I can't have the kind of career I want to get as Pretty Boy Floyd. I will reinvent myself as the heel. I'll be the bad guy. And, you know, it turned out to be, Money Mayweather turned out to be the most lucrative role in the history of sports. And he got over them. Rigondeaux doesn't have that ability to recast himself as a kind of public figure, as a persona. Nothing against him. It probably means he's a good person. But that's why he's fighting from a disadvantage here. That's why he has to go up.
Yeah, and the fact is, he's one of the best defensive fighters out there. But we've seen Lomachenko. I mean, listen, Lomachenko basically he can beat you fighting in the pocket. He can jab you to death. He can overpower you. He can break your will. I mean, I know we're pressed on time, but you think the game plan for Rigo going in? Do you think he's going to be more aggressive offensively, or do you think if he does that plays right into Lomachenko's hands?
I think Rigondeaux will do what Rigondeaux wants to do. I think that he wants Lomachenko to come forward. And I think that's why he has been, or his minions have been so antagonistic on social media, because they want to ensure that Lomachenko is pissed off and comes forward.
Right. Make it a fight. Right.
I understand that. Rigondeaux can fight other ways. He chooses not to. He has power. He doesn't engage unless he really has to. You know, I think there was a somewhat unfair prejudice against him, you know, the networks, but it takes two to make an entertaining fight. But, you know, fight fans can't have it both ways, or maybe properly said that fight fans are of two minds. There's the cognoscenti who appreciate Rigondeaux's artistry.
Right.
And then there's the masses who go, well, I want to see a fight.
Right.
You know? And as is usually the case, the masses have won. Their sensibilities have won, and so he has to move up. I think that he has three disadvantages here. One is weight, two is age, and three is Lomachenko, who is extraordinarily skilled. And the variety in his attack is extraordinary. If Lomachenko wins in a theatrical way, he'll probably be received as the best fighter in the world, and it will open up a new perception of him. You know, boxing will have something new and to sell. So
I love watching him fight. I mean, and I remember going a couple of fights ago when he fought Sosa. I didn't think, and Sosa's a Camden kid in our backyard. I didn't think he was going to win a minute of that fight, and he didn't. I mean, Lomachenko's just that good. Before I let you get out of here, the undercard, you got Diaz Cruz. I'm curious on your thoughts on the young man, Shakur Stevenson. Followed his amateur career as well. He's a New Jersey guy in our backyard. You got Conlon, the Irish kid. What's your thought before I let you get out of here on the undercard, real quick?
Look, this undercard is designed as Michaela Mayer is an interesting fighter, but putting aside Diaz for the moment, the undercard is designed as a preamble down the line to pit Michael Conlon and Shakur. I mean, I saw Shakur spar a good bit against Lomachenko. I'm hesitant to say how it all went, but it was interesting. You know, he got an education sparring with Lomachenko. He saw punches come from different angles, but he's an extraordinarily talented kid. And I guess your listeners may or may not know, Stevenson would have fought Conlon in the Olympics had Conlon not got jobbed.
Right.
Now, Conlon's response to getting jobbed and giving the finger and cursing out the refs and tweeting Putin was actually one of the most lucrative examples of profanity ever, because it gave him an identity, and it gave this fight an eventual backdrop. So I think that what you're seeing in the undercard is directed toward, you know, year or two, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, a Stevenson-Conlon fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a stacked card, and like I said, I'm looking forward to those two going forward. You got a good female fight as well, Mayer and Feliciano, a New York kid as well. It'll be a good card. It'll be Saturday night, Madison Square Garden. Again, Top Rank. You got Lomo and Rigo. You got Diaz and Cruz. You got Jennings as well in action. So, Mark, I appreciate it. I know we're a little tight. Next time I get you on, we'll kind of do a little whip around, because I know you're going to be doing some more work down the road with ESPN. I know you're the jack of all trades, so we'll dive into a little NBA, little NFL, and of course a little boxing with you. But appreciate it, and congrats on the new gig.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, you got it. Mark Kriegel, good stuff with him. That is a stack card, by the way.